There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz .jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Patiking sarili ko, mirinan tiwala. Dapso, balure mabiluga siya, en ako manintun pangaliwa. Pagmaragul kay eskwela ko, uliking galing, balawan at talino. Kaya di pampang gamit ang niyang state you. Lumit ka, pakamalan kong gapso. Nakalmang kapag subok kang dala ng tamo. Milabas ngan, lining lugod na ninggino. Ayabot, talangan ding tagimpan tamo. Iti ang itanam king kekatang puso. Pagmaragul kay eskwela ko, uliking galing, balawan at talino. Kaya di pampang gamit ang niyang state you. Lumit ka, pakamalan kong dapso. Abayan niyo na kami, Kenny state you. Kaya panat kabyasnan, abaluta mo. Sumulong tamo, managong penta mo. Nung abe-abe, misasan metong tamo. Pagmaragul kay eskwela ko, uliking save you. Lumingid ka, pakamalan kong dakso. Pagmaragul kay eskwela ko, uliking galing pero walang talino. Kedi Pampanga, metong mistake you. Lumingid ka, pakamalan kong dakso. Pakamalan kong dakso. Pakamalan kong dakso.
Good day, participants! This is going to be a fun-filled webinar. Just remember to follow these few online etiquettes for our webinar. Number 1. In line with the Data Privacy Act, we would like to inform you that this webinar is recorded. Your participation means you are giving consent to be recorded. Number 2. Be on time. Be here 10 minutes before the webinar starts. Number 3. Be prepared. Find a quiet place free from distractions. Be sure that your gadget is charged. Use headphones if you have them. Number 4. Keep your microphone on mute. If you would like to speak, click the hand raise icon or say permission to speak, then wait for the facilitator to address your concern. Number 5. Be responsible in the chat box. Use the chat box for webinar-related matters only. Number 6. Take down notes. Writing down notes will help you remember important concepts from the webinar. Number 7. Be fully present. Pay attention to what the speaker is sharing and participate actively. Lastly, number 8. Do not forget to accomplish the attendance and evaluation right after the webinar.
All right, so good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Jobs180.com's Marketing Me Live with Don Honorio Ventura State University, Candaba Campus, and of course with Lyceum Northwestern University. So today we will be joined by speakers from Jobs180.com, IQEQ, and VXI. So before we start, may we invite everybody for the opening prayer, followed by the singing of the national anthem.
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below.
mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiging nagsasilakanan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuyagan ang magiting, sa manluluping, di ka pasisitin, sa nagagang tutok sa simoy at sa langit ng pagkaw, ay hinatang tulad, awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na nagtitindig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may magtitindig. Luman ang araw ng walang pagsinta, mo'y langit sa pilit mo. Ang inigaya na pagkay mga akin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Alright, so again, welcome everyone. Ready na ba kayo? I hope you all are. And if you are here and ready to listen and learn for today's session, so kindly hit the heart react button. Ayan. So by the way, my name is Joyce from jobs180.com. I will be your today's host and we are live via Jobs180 Facebook and Jobs180 YouTube page. And we hope that everybody is excited to learn new things today. So we have two sets of audiences from Don Honorio Ventura State University and from Lyceum Northwestern University. And please do not hesitate to share this live to your friends kung wala pa po sila dito para sama-sama tayong matuto ngayong half hour. Okay, so to officially start today's session, may we invite Mr. Arnold D. Lumanlan, LPT MAE, the Academic Chairperson from DHVSU Candaba. Sir?
Hello, ma'am. Am I loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. To the members of the Administrative Council headed by our indefatigable State Universities and Colleges, President Dr. Enrique G. Baking, our Vice Presidents of Don Honorio Ventura State University, our very gorgeous campus directress, Ma'am Catlea Bianca P. Habon, college chairs, faculty members, and of course, our very hardworking training coordinator, Mr. Arvin P. Tuazon. Our guests, students, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day, everyone. On behalf of the organizers, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the participants of this seminar on job application. We are thrilled to have you all here, and we hope that this event will be informative, engaging, and helpful in your job search. In today's competitive job market, applying for a job can be daunting and challenging task. Therefore, we have assembled a panel of experts who will share their expertise and insight on how to make your job application stand out from the crowd. Throughout the seminar, you will learn about the latest trends, techniques, and best practices in job application, including crafting a compelling resume, writing a cover letter that gets noticed, preparing for an interview, and much more. We encourage to take advantage of this opportunity to learn from our esteemed speakers and network with our participants. We hope that by end of this webinar, you will leave with a renewed sense of confidence and better understanding on how to navigate the job application process successfully. Once again, welcome to this seminar, welcome to this webinar on job application, and we hope you have an enjoyable and productive experience.
All right. Thank you so much, Sir A. Thank you so much, Sir Lumandan, for gracing the event. And of course, thank you so much po for collaborating and trusting Jobs 180 to power your event. So we are hoping, ayan, na at the end of the session, maraming matutunan talaga yung from Dogs and of course from LNU. And so thank you so much. And of course, to give us another opening message, we are giving the floor to Dr. Eugene M. Reyes, Vice President for Student Affairs and Alumni Relations from Lyceum Northwestern University.
Good day, everyone. It is another milestone to beat as you will become a part of our 52nd batch of graduates. We all have endured the COVID-19 pandemic. Hard as it is, this experience has already altered the way we perceive life and its complexities. Lyceum Northwestern University has stayed true to its commitment providing quality education since its founding in 1969. The education landscape is changing, but we adapt quickly and guide our students and stakeholders in providing quality education within the reach. Our strong commitment to our students meant going beyond conventional to ensure personalized and diversified services are delivered timely to all our students, especially during emergencies and unforeseen circumstances. This continued partnership with Jobs180.com help us immensely in providing an avenue for you, our graduating students, to prepare for your future career. I sincerely hope that in whatever endeavor you choose to pursue, you will take the lead with God as your guiding light, and the qualities of a Lycean will be evident in all your actions, decision-making, and convictions. Thank you, good day, and may God bless us all.
All right, so thank you as well, Dr. Eugene M. Reyes from Lyceum Northwestern University. Ayan. And as usual, for our audience today, so please comment your name, your year, and your course. And if you have questions later on, please type them in so we can answer them after the talk. And again, the Q&A will happen after each speaker's presentation. So we will be releasing your attendance link and the evaluation link later po. So stay tuned. Baka mamaya pumikit kayo, wala na yung evaluation or yung attendance link. So, kindly stay until the very end of this session. Ayan, para secure your attendance. Of course, syempre, para matuto ngayong hapon. Okay? So, here's our schedule for today. So, we have 3 topics for today's session. So, first topic is job applications using ResumeLink, which will be discussed by Jobs180.com. Next topic is communication skills by IQEQ and top skills companies look for when hiring fresh graduates by VXI. So again, shout out to everyone who is here na. Again, please comment your name, your year, and your school, since we have 2 schools today. So as we go along, please type in your questions so we can read it later. Please wag po kayong mahiyang magtanong. This is your chance to ask before you face the real adulting thing or the world of work. Alright, so kilalanin po natin ating unang speaker. So for our first topic, which is job applications using ResumeLink, our first presenter has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. As a trusted resource speaker, he has done over 1,000 plus career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. So the managing director from Jobs180.com, Sir Kim, take it away.
Hey everyone, good day to all of you. My name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa, baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo. And I'm here to share to you about the most secure tool for job application. This is how you can market yourself more effectively and the different ways to do that. Okay, so let me start. Now, when you apply, you probably have a checklist. Now, if you're using the right tool, so just go along with me if you have the right, if you have the same checklist that I have. So ito yung mga things na like kong tinatandaan, no? Will my tool or will the thing that I'll be using help me to stand out? That's the first item that is very important for me. Kailangan mag-stand out ako kasi dami-dami kong kasabayan kalaban sa pag-apply. Another thing in my checklist is that, do I have more than one file? Because oftentimes I have a lot of files. May academic records, may mga government IDs, ang dami mga kailangan hingiin ng mga companies. So I'd like to put them all in one file. And this tool helps me to do that. Okay? Another thing that this tool can do is that it allows me to make the process more efficient. Mas napapabilis yung pag-apply, no? Hindi na napapatagal yung pabalik-balik. So, mas mabilis din syempre tayo maka-move forward. Di ba? And another thing that this tool can do is that wala tong bayad. Baka mukha lang akong salesman pero libre po ito. Okay? So this tool is absolutely for free. The most important in my checklist is that this tool, okay, makes my information secured. And I think this is the most important question. Do you want your information to be secured? I hope your answer is yes. Okay? And so with that, let me show you ano tong tool na ito. This tool is called ResumeLink. ResumeLink by definition is the most secured tool for job application. Okay? This is a personalized URL. It is a link that anyone can open online anytime, provided that they know the link. So let me use an example. If you are John Santos, just in case lang, your name is John Santos, your resume link would look something like johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. So how do you make one? Okay, how do you make one? Now, the first step is for you to register. This is absolutely for free. Wala itong bayad. Okay? So what do? You go to www.jobs180.com and that is where you now register. Okay? As you register, you just simply fill out the information. These are the basic information. You have the account details, you have your personal information, you have your education background, and just in case you have your work experience, whether it's OJT or it's part-time job or whatever yung work experience na yan, then you proceed to that work experience page. Pero pag wala, hanggang dyan na lang tayo sa my education information. Okay? After doing so, you now start to create your resume link. So ano ba ang basihan ng resume link? Kadalasan, ang resume link natin, we base it on our name. We base it on our unique name. Okay, so as an example, if you're John Santos, then you say johnsantos.jobs180.com. Now, what about during scenarios where you create your resume link tapos may nauna sa inyo? May ibang John Santos, may kapangalan ka, no, nauna sa inyo. Ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon na red na box. Sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Na huwag kayo malungkot pag taken na. Okay lang, maging creative lang kayo ng konti. Pwede mo balik na rin. Pwede mo sabihin Santos John. Okay, you can also say Santos J. O kaya J Santos. O kaya JS, di ba? Or SJ. Depende sa link na gusto mo gawin. Basta importante, wala kang kapareho kahit kayo may kapangalan. Now, another thing I'd like to emphasize here, wag po kayong OA. Pag gumawa kayo ng resume link, huwag mo gagawin tipong nakalagay Cutie Pie, Lover Boy, Barbie doll, di ba? Because it doesn't sound professional. Imagine going to a company and the HR will ask you, do you have a resume? Tapos sasabihin mo sa kanya, meron po, ang resume ko ay eljablo.jobs180.com. Di ba? Baka matakot yung HR sa inyo. So I don't recommend that you do something like that. Just stick to your name. Whatever your name is, it will sound professional. Okay? Now, in creating a resume link, you have to use a valid email. Emails like Yahoo, Gmail, Rocketmail, any email, basta nabubuksan nyo, wag na wag ka lang gagamit ng facebook.com na email. Okay? Do not use something like, example lang patrick@facebook.com na email. Do not use patricia@facebook.com na email. Okay? In short, do not use @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com, you will no longer be able to receive notifications being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Okay? So use something that you can open. Why is it important for you to open your email? Because you have to verify your account. Okay? Remember, pag nag-verify, yan ang ebidensya na ikaw nag-register talaga. Yan ang proof. Diba? And at the same time, if you verify your account, then you'll be receiving notifications from the companies as well as Jobs180. If you do not verify your account, hindi nyo na po marireceive yung mga notification ng mga companies. So, sayang naman. Diba? Might as well verify your account first. Okay? Now, you're done with the first step. After you verify. So, ano na ang second step? Ang second step is the most logical of all the steps. You have to complete all the information. Very logical. Sino sa inyo mag-apply sa mga kumpanya, bungi-bungi detalye? Sino sa inyo magbibigay ng resume sa mga HR tapos kulang-kulang details nyo? I don't think you'll do that because you're just wasting your time. Instead, kumpletuhin yung information nyo bago kayo mag-submit dun sa mga companies. Okay? So, step 2, complete the information. And how do you do that? Punta kayo ulit dun sa website, www.jobs180.com, and this time, you don't need to register again kasi may account ka na eh. What you need to do is you have to log in. Okay? Now, as you log in, you start to put your registered email or your resume link and your password na ikaw lang may alam. Okay? Ganun lang siya kasimple. Now, once you're inside your account, you start to fill in the blanks. Ganun lang kasimple. Fill in the blanks. So, the things that you see here, yung mga contents, napakasimple lang. Yung mga personal details nyo, lagay mo dyan. Diba? All the information na sa tingin nyo relevant, you put it there. Now, I have some emphasis lang on items na madalas na may-miss out ito ng mga aplikante. Ano yung mga yon? Sa contact information, you have to put here all the possible ways na pwede kang makontak ng isang HR. Kagaya ng social media handles nyo. Ba't ko nasabi yan? Because in reality is, pag tinatawagan kayo ng mga HR, madalas hindi naman ina-answer eh. Lalo na pag hindi nyo kilala, pag nag-ring yung phone nyo, hala, sino kaya ito? Di ba, hindi mo kilala. Ano gagawin? Hahayaan mo na lang. Di ba? Antayin mo kung may mag-message sa inyo. Paano kung yung HR hindi naman masipag hindi masipag mag-message? Masipag lang siya magtawag. That's why I recommend you put here all the possible means na pwede kang makontak. Kagaya ng social media nyo. Put your Facebook there, yung mga messenger nyo, mga Twitter nyo, iba pang mga paraan, social media handles para mabilis kayo ma-reach out. Diba? Message na lang. Are you available Thursday, 10 a.m., so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying? Diba? So lahat ng paraan, lagay mo dyan. What else do you put here? You also put here yung inyong mga work options. Sa work options naman, you just choose lang, parang yes or no lang yan, parang switch, no? Kung ano yung mga options na gusto ninyo, no? Willing to work night shift, willing to relocate, looking for OJT, you can also put it here. Okay? And then in terms of education, obvious naman, yung alma mater nyo, lagay nyo dito. Diba? Yung mga pampakapal ng resume, sa seminars attended, kahit magkopyahan pa kayo ng mga classmates mo, okay lang. Basta lang make sure, alam nyo na pag-usapan doon sa seminar na yon. Pagdating sa certification, ganun din yan. Walang limit sa space yan. Achievements, recommend ko dito is you don't only put yung mga achievement nyo inside the school. Okay? Kasi hindi naman lahat tayo academically inclined. Some of us are not very active sa school, pero active tayo sa mga social civic organization. Diba? So, even if it's outside of the school, you can also put it there. As long as you think it is an achievement, you put it there. Okay? Now, in terms of skills and languages, isa-isahin ko lang yan ha. Sa skills, do not limit your skills dyan lang sa course nyo. Hindi perkat education ng course mo, ang ibig sabihin, ang skills na alam mo lang ay magturo. Hindi perkat accounting ang course mo, ang alam mo lang gawin or ang skills mo ay mag-debit, credit, at mag-balance sheet. Diba? So, marami kang alam na iba pa mga skills na kahit walang connect sa course, you can also put it here. Sample, photography, diba? Videography, diba? And all the other things, calligraphy, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? When it comes to languages, I'm sure alam nyo, 2 lengguwahe na. At the minimum, you know English and you know Filipino. If you know local dialect, to be specific, lagi mo Tagalog, Chabacano, Bisaya, Kapampangan, 'di ba? Ilonggo, wala naman limit sa space eh. 'Di ba? If you know foreign languages, put it there. Chinese, Japanese, French, Vietnamese, kung ano man 'yan, ilagay nyo. Because what you're doing is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to the prospective company. Now, when it comes to references, sigurado naman ako yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang tanong lang dyan, kayo ba kilala nila? Kasi madalas pag tinatawagan namin yung mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. Yung pinakamalupit dyan, hindi talaga kayo kilala. Okay, so please advise yung mga references nyo na ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now, at this point, I'd like to highlight yung mga things that you don't find in a traditional resume. Ano yung mga yan? Diba? Ito yung mga yun. Let me start with the portfolio section. The portfolio section is where you now upload evidence of your skills. And I think with this day and age, dito pumapasok yung efficiency, no, ng ating application sa mga companies. Because oftentimes, when we apply to companies, marami mga hinihingi, mga pre-employment requirements. They will ask for mga documents, mga proof that is showing na yan talaga yung mga skills nyo. So, kung ano man meron yung mga documents, you can now take a picture, you can scan them, and you can upload it here. Example, government IDs. Diba? Meron ka mga transcripts, academic records. Diba? You can put that there. Okay? Kung meron mga medical clearance na kailangan, ganun din. Hindi na kailangan magpabalik-balik sa company. Oh, ayos ba? Oh, eto pa. Diba? But wait, there's more. Ito na yun. Itong isa pang gusto ko i-recommend sa inyo, yung tinatawag natin selfie video. Nowadays, I think, it is not very difficult to create a selfie video. Diba? Ito may TikTok nga kayo eh. Diba? Alam mo naman paano gumawa ng selfie video. So I don't need to teach you how to create a selfie video. What I need to share to you na lang is yung anong kailangan sabihin pagka gumawa ka ng selfie video. Okay, this time, what I recommend is you say something interesting about yourself. Okay? So, you pretend that you're being interviewed by the HR. Diba? Ano yung matiyatanong sa atin? Why should we hire you? Diba? Tell me something about yourself. Why should we consider you among all the other applicants? O, di ba? Ang kagandahan ngayon is you create that video for about 1 minute or less. Hindi kailangan sobrang haba, no? Mga 1 minute lang or less. Pero ang maganda rito is na-evaluate na nung HR yung inyong communication skills. If you can speak in English, then I recommend you speak in straight English. But if you cannot, it's okay as long as you're able to show your personality. You can also showcase here yung mga hard skills nyo. Ano yung mga hard skills? Kagaya ng mga video na panood ko dati, pinakita nila how to use a soldering iron, how to properly handle a welding machine, diba? How to fold table napkins. O, ganun, diba? So, depende kung ano yung mga skills na alam mo at depende kung ano yung nasa field mo rin, diba? Na napag-aralan, diba? So, gusto mo magpakita ka paano mag-balance sheet, pwede rin. O, diba? Again, it really depends on what you wanted to show dun sa HR. Ang point is, you don't need to travel back and forth para lang ipakita on the spot dun sa HR yung inyong hard skills. And most importantly, hindi na kailangan magkaroon ng maraming aberya, maraming storbo. Diba? Sometimes when we try to contact you for the phone interview, maingay yung background, hindi marinig. Diba? Mahina signal, maingay, ano nangyari, nasa biyahe. Diba? Or sometimes hindi magtugma yung schedule. At least with that selfie video, it makes the process now more efficient. Now, another good thing pa with the ResumeLink is that you also upload here your profile picture. When it comes to profile picture, you don't need to go to the studio para magpa-picture. Huwag ka na gumastos. Ang importante lang dyan, tumingin ka sa camera, okay, with plain background, at of course, magbihis ka naman ng maayos, di ba? And then, you're good to go. Huwag mo gagawin yung mga nasa right side ng screen niyo. Those samples that I'm showing you, it doesn't look professional. Imagine, di ba, yung mga selfie, mga nilagay ng avatar, yan, huwag nyo gawin yan. Okay, huwag nyo gawin yan. It doesn't look nice, doesn't look professional. Okay? Now, another good thing pa with the ResumeLink is that meron tayong tinatawag na cover photo. Ayan, pasintabi sa matatamaan. May iba sa inyo nakikinig ngayon, hindi naman kayo gifted with writing skills. Some of us are having a difficult time expressing our thoughts and feelings into words. So ano pwede mo gawin? You can now use those pictures to represent your personality or to showcase yung inyong skills. Example, look at the one on the left, yung nasa baba. Ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, ophthalmologist, optometrist, or eye expert. Yung nasa kanan, yung nasa taas, ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, para siyang admin or clerical work. Or maybe makalat kasi tingnan mo yung lamesa ang kalat-kalat. O, di ba? Again, it depends on the interpretation of the person looking at it. This is an example of someone into HR or maybe into psychology. And this one is an example, it's a very good example by the way, of someone who wanted to say that there is no shortcut to success. Hindi po yan miyembro na Akit Bahay Gang. Okay? Ang gusto niya sabihin, you will be able to reach yung goal mo by taking one step at a time. Oh, di ba? You get what I'm saying now. So I'm showing you good examples para you can draw inspiration from. And I will also show you not so good examples. Ito yung wag niyong gagayahin. Huwag kayong magpapaka-misteryoso. Okay? Maglagay ka ng picture mo dyan. Lalaki man, babae in between, okay lang. Ilagay mo dyan. Member man tayo ng LGBTQ+, okay lang. You put it there. At least alam ng HR who to expect. A lot of times, yung mga pangalan kasi very interchangeable nowadays. Ako mismo, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think, babae ako. Di ba? Eh, pag iba nababasa ko mga resume, ano nakalagay sa resume nila? Chris. Nakalagay George, Alex, Sam, Nick. O, di ba? Joey. I would assume lalaki. Yun pala, babae. O, di ba? So that's why you better make sure you put your picture there. And wag naman pugot yung ulo nyo pag nilagay ng picture. Dapat kompleto. Okay? Never leave this blank because if you leave this blank, it will not catch the HR's attention. Trust me. Kung ikaw ang HR, wala ka namang ibang makita dyan, malamang mangyayari dito, next applicant na. Okay? And then if you want to catch the HR's attention, do not create something like this. This is just my opinion. I don't think this looks professional kasi ang dating parang tamad, parang happy-go-lucky, no? Parang chill-chill, walang pakialam sa buhay. Again, that is just my interpretation. Okay? So I showed you the good and not so good examples para you'll be guided. Now, you can just play along later on kung anong sa tingin nyo mas bagay sa inyong background or sa inyong sa gusto niyo ipakita sa personality niyo. Okay? Now, let's examine a very good example. Look at this person, itong eye expert. Bakit maganda itong example ng kanyang resume link? Because all the information you're seeing here, kompleto na. 'Di ba? Hindi ka na magpabalik-balik eh. Kung ikaw yung HR, everything that you need to ask or you want to know about the applicant, you already find it here. If you're the applicant, you might as well put everything there para wag mo na antayin pa yung time na hihingiin pa sa ng HR yung mga documents yan. Baka hindi na mangyari yun. Baka may ibang aplikante na mas assertive, nilagay lahat ng mga information na i-process na siya kaagad. Diba? Now, at this point, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, sir, okay nga tong resume link. Kaso lang, baka naman yung information ko nakakalat na sa buong mundo. Baka naman nakalantad na sa buong internet. Ang sagot ay, hindi. Kaya nga tinawag na the most secure tool for your job application. Diba? Bakit? Because you control your privacy settings. Ikaw mismo, as an account user or as a resume link owner, ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo. And how will that happen? When you log into your dashboard, as you can see in my screen, when you log into your dashboard, you will find the resume link settings. Pagpunta mo sa settings, mapuntahan mo yung privacy settings at dun ka mamili ngayon ng information you want to show or hide in public. So let me use an example. If you don't want to show your birthday, what do? You turn it off. You don't want to show your references, you turn it off. You don't want to show your address, what do? Turn it off. Diba? So yung mga information na in-off mo, hindi lalabas sa public. Now, if ever lang you decide to change your mind, ang maganda dito sa resume link, updated yan, real time. As in real time. So 5 minutes later, you want to show your birthday, turn it on. What happens? Lahat ng mayroong alam ng resume link mo, alam na niya yung birthday mo. Diba? If 2 days later, you want to show your address, you turn it on, you save your profile, lahat ng may alam ng ResumeLink mo, alam na rin yung inyong address. You get what I'm saying? Diba? So, depende na sa inyo kung ano gusto mo i-on or i-off. If you want to turn off everything, then okay lang. You can just turn off the button. Enable public ResumeLink, off. Wala nang lalabas sa public. Kahit na anong information. Okay? So, yan ang re-remind ko sa inyo. This, the second step is for you to complete the information, and in doing so, please make sure that your profile is interesting, diba? Yung information mo kompleto at updated ang details nyo para mabilis kayo makontak ng mga HR. Now we go to the last step. Pangatlo na, last step na to. The last step is for you to submit. Now, how will you submit your resume link to those companies? You might be thinking you want to explore opportunities outside of the Philippines. Maybe you want to join some job fairs later on. You want to apply online. You want to, marami, walk-ins, diba? Depende kung ano kasi bumabalik na yung face-to-face ngayon. So, lahat ng mga ipapakita ko sa inyo, lahat ito, practical application. Lahat yan, makaka-relate kayo. Ano yung first one? The first one is you go online. Of course. Diba? Yan ang fastest way. You just connect via your phone, via kung ano man gadget mo, go to jobs.at.com, search for companies. And by the way, speaking of search, you can only search for company, tatlo lang pwede mo i-search ha. Search for company name, position title, and location. Doon sa search bar, hindi mo pwede ma-search ang resume link. So example lang, ikaw si John Santos, okay? Okay, ikaw si, ako na lang, Kim, halimbawa lang, subukan mo pumunta sa jobs.at.com, doon sa search bar, type mo doon Kim. Tingnan mo kung may lumabas. Malamang sa malamang, walang lalabas. Unless may company name, position title, or location na may word na Kim. Other than that, walang lalabas dyan. Kasi hindi siya searchable. So, the only time a company would be able to know your information is if and when you give your exact resume link to that company. So, ikaw may control. Ayos? So, tuloy natin. Okay, tuloy natin. So, if you're going to search for companies, what do? Just go to the website of jobs.at.com, search for companies. Kung may lumabas, edi meron. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Diba? Ganun lang yan. Huwag natin pilitin magkaroon ng something kung wala talaga. Diba? Okay, so ano gagawin? Tingnan mo yung mga companies. Kung meron kang type, edi gawin nyo, check nyo yung opportunities. After that, you now submit your information to that company. Okay, when you submit your information to the company, it will ask for your profile, for your resume link and password. So ikaw lang magbibigay ng consent dun sa company. Okay? Now another option is for you to send resumes via email. Now there's nothing wrong in sending resumes through email. Ang tanong dito is, how are you sending your resumes through email? Do you do it like this? Do you say, "Dear HR manager, I'd like to apply for the following position. This is my resume." Tapos mag-attach ka ng Word file, PDF file, or whatever file you have. If you're doing those attachments pa, ang tawag dyan, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Hindi ko sinabing mali. Ang sabi ko lang, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Bakit? Hindi mo kailangan mag-attach anything anymore. If you're going to write an email and send your resume, just simply type your resume link there. "Dear HR manager, I would like to apply for the following position. This is my resume." In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, jobs.at.com, send. Tapos na. Ganun lang kabilis. Diba? Whatever changes you need to do, you put it inside your resume link. You don't have to keep on sending another attachment. Paano kung imagine mo na lang, nag-attach ka ng Word file, diba? Ng PDF file. Tapos nagpalit ka ng address, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Email mo na naman yung HR. "Dear HR manager, I'm sending you my updated resume." Ganun ba? Paano kung 2 months later, lumipat ka ng bahay, iba na address mo, send ka ulit ng bagong resume? "Dear HR manager, I'm sending you my updated, most recent resume." I don't think you do that. Kasi kung ganun ang ginagawa mo, sayang sa oras yan, nakapagod sa part mo, lalong-lalo naman sa part ng HR, mas nakakapagod to keep track kung saan dyan yung pinaka-updated na attachment or pinaka-updated na resume ng aplikante. And this time around, if you have your resume link, all you need to do is just update your resume link at lahat na may alam ng resume link mo, makikita nila yung pinaka real-time update ng profile or information. Ayos ba? Ayos ba? Sige, another one. For those who wanted to use a hard copy, gusto mo talaga may hard copy ka. When you apply to those companies, you want to give something, then this is also possible. What do? You go to your dashboard inside your job seeker account, then you can print your resume link. Mamili ka lang, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, the system will try to compress everything into 1 page. O diba? Maginhawa sa buhay. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-apply sa mga kumpanya, hindi mo na kailangan mag-prepare ng maraming mga pages. Minsan, diba, yung mga aplikante, mga 2-3 pages ang isang set ng resume. Palibasa, yung font size 45. Kaya umaabot ng 2-3 pages. O diba? Pero this time, the system will try to compress everything na into 1 page. Just in case you really want to have a hard copy. O diba? Tipid. Okay? Another thing pa for me to encourage you to do is you use resume link cards. resume link cards. Ano tong resume link card? Kung sa mga nagtatrabaho na, tawag namin business card. Sa mga nag-a-apply, tawag dyan, resume link card. So in one piece of paper, whether short bond or long bond paper, you can now design it your own way. You can design it depende kung ano ang gusto mo, pagiging creativity mo. Ikaw bahala. You can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa laki or liit. Diba? Kasi laki ng index card or kasi liit lang ng mga normal business cards natin. Diba? So depende. So maybe in one long bond paper, you can make 10, 20 sets of cards na. And so after you have it printed out, pwede ka na ngayon maggupit-gupit. Gupit-gupit na lang. Diba? 10 or 20. Bawat kumpanya, you can now start to give that as a hard copy. Hard copy pa rin naman yan eh. But this time, why am I encouraging you to use resume link cards instead of the traditional long bond or short bond paper? Bakit? Unang-una, tipid. Diba? Because of course, right now, eto, tipid. Kasi if you're going to apply to 20 companies, you don't need to print 20 sets of long bond papers. You just need to print one long bond paper and cut 20 small pieces of resume link cards. O, diba? That's for the cost side. Tipid na. Pangalawa, at mas importante, security of information. Diba? You want to have peace of mind. Paano ko nasabi yan? Kapag ikaw yung nagbigay sa isang kumpanya ng long bond paper or short bond paper, example lang, no? It's a traditional resume. And for some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Okay? Nilipad ng hangin. Hindi mo kasalanan. Kasalanan ng hangin eh. Diba? May nakapulot na stranger. May nakapulot na stranger. All your information, alam na nung stranger. Tama? And you cannot deny it because you know what I'm saying is true. Diba? Hindi mo kilala pero alam niya yung buong details mo. Now, using your resume link card, same scenario. Nagbigay ka ng resume link card sa company, nilipad ng hangin ngayon. May na stranger na nakapulot, okay lang. Bakit? Kampante ka. Kasi yung resume link, ikaw may control ng privacy settings mo. That's why, in your resume link card, what I recommend, you just simply put your name and your resume link. Dalawa lang. That's it. If you want to put your mobile number, it's okay. It's up to you. You can put it there. Diba? Pero ang point ko is, resume link, pwede na siya makita ng mga HR or mga companies na bibigyan mo. Diba? So you have peace of mind now. Okay? So there's a lot of advantages using resume links. In fact, doon pa lang sa privacy portion, panalong-panalo ka na. Ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo real time. Pagdating sa speed of hire, it becomes faster and more efficient because whatever you want to show the HR, you just attach it there. Whatever the HR needs from you, they just ask from you. Diba? You take a picture, you scan them, upload it there, and later on, pag okay na, you now turn off yung privacy settings mo. Diba? Or you can remove them in the attachments. Diba? Cost efficient, definitely wala tong gastos, tipid. Diba? If you're thinking, ay sir, paano po yung internet? Kailangan ng pang-load. Pwede ka maging resourceful. Connect lang tayo sa mga libreng wifi. O, diba? And then, pagdating sa flexibility, if you really want to have it printed out, yung inyong resume, you also have the option to print it out. That's like how I showed it to you, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, it's really up to you. Pero ang point ko is, resume link na lahat yan. Okay? And you can use this to any platform, whatever platform you want to share it to. You want to share it sa mga messenger nyo, you want to share it sa email, sa Viber, sa text, di ba? Gusto mo, kaya ko bahala. Di ba? Gusto mo, sulat mo sa papel, tapos gawa ka ng airplane, palipad mo, di ba? May nakakuha, alam niya yung resume link mo. Ikaw bahala. Okay? Ikaw may control kung sino ang gusto mo bigyan. Okay? You don't have to use your USBs anymore. You don't have to save it sa hard drive. Baka mawala pa yung USB nyo. Delikado. Diba? Wag na. Baka kung ano pa makita ng mga nakakapulot ng mga USB na yan. Okay? So you don't need to worry about compatibility as well because this is compatible to any platform. If you're using Android, you're using Safari, kung ano magamit mo, pwede yan sa kahit anong version. Okay? And so, just to promote lang, if you want to be part of our team, we're also hiring. Mismo sa jobs180.com, we're hiring for several opportunities, several vacancies yan. Check out na lang yung aming jobs180.com/jobs180 na page. Okay? And by the grace of God, shout out lang ako, right now we have more than 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide. From north all the way to the south of the Philippines. Thank you, Lord. O, diba? Ang kinalat namin, hindi lang virus. Biro lang. Kinalat namin resume link. Yan ang kinalat natin. So, a lot of schools now, including your alma mater, are now using the resume link. So, I hope it doesn't stop here. No? You become a blessing to others as well. If you have friends, you have yung mga relatives mo, na sa tingin mo kailangan nitong tool na ito, you can share it to them. Wala namang bayad eh. Libre naman yan. Okay? And so, as we close this portion, I'd like to discuss some of the frequently asked questions. Baka ito yung mga agam nyo or ito yung mga questions na gusto nyo tanungin. Sagutin ko na muna. Okay? Unang tanong, can I give my resume links to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. Basta alam nila eksaktong link mo. At ikaw may control, sino bibigyan mo nun? Ikaw lang ang magbibigay, diba? So, ikaw lang may alam sino binigyan mo. Okay? Now, second question, is it the same as other job platform, kagaya ng JobStreet, LinkedIn, or any other job site? The answer is no. May dalawang pagkakaiba. And let me use an example here. Let me do a shout out to JobStreet, no, because I think you guys know what JobStreet is. So, shout out lang to them sa mga nasa JobStreet. If you're using JobStreet na resume, you can only apply to companies who are using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. Pero pag gamit mo yung resume link mo, pwede mo yung gamitin kahit na saan, kahit na kanino, kahit na anong platform. Diba? Basta alam ng HR yung eksaktong link mo at ikaw magbibigay nun. That's the first difference. Second difference, if you have already submitted your JobStreet resume to an HR, you cannot change anything anymore. Well, you can on your end, but it will not be reflected on the HR. Hindi siya magiging real-time update. Comparing it to resume link ni Jobs 180, you can update it real-time. 2 days later, 5 minutes later, 6 weeks later, ikaw bahala, anytime nag-update ka ng information, lahat na in-update mo, dagdag bawas, will be reflected real-time across all na may alam ng resume link mo. Okay? So those are the two major differences. Now, pagdating sa pangatlong question, yan ang pinaka-simpleng tanong. Can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na job application platform. Okay? So, use your resume link. Number 4 question, I think is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? The answer is every time. Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Okay? Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Lalong-lalo na yung contact details mo. Kasi imagine, binago mo lahat. Binago mo yung work experience mo, nagkaroon ng awards, nagkaroon ng achievement, hindi ka naman makontak ng HR. Wala rin, di ba? Sayang din. That's why you have to update yung contact details nyo. Okay? And the last question is just a trivia. Trivia lang, palaisipan. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around 180 degrees. And in case you're wondering, no, you wanted to raise a concern, bakit hindi po 360? Kasi pag 360 degrees, you only go back to where you started. Ikot ka lang na ikot, wala kang pupuntahan. 'Di ba? Bumabalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Oh, ha? Oh, 'di ba? Char lang 'yan. Okay? So, anyways, again, kung meron pa kayo ibang questions, just in case you have questions, okay, you may send those questions here through our website, www.jobs180.com. You can also email us or email me here sa info@jobs180.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, pati na rin sa TikTok. Okay, so check us out on all our social media platform. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa. Okay? Isang magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much, Sir Kim. So thank you so much for discussing about ResumeLink. So if you have questions regarding the topic, so kindly post your questions in the comment section. I will try to answer your questions later. All right. So unfortunately, we cannot have Sir Kim on stage, but definitely we can answer your questions. We'll try to answer your questions about ResumeLinks. And if you're interested to know more about ResumeLink, you may visit our website. It's www.jobs180.com, or you may visit your school portal at schools.jobs180.com. So for LNU, Lyceum, Northwestern, and for DHVSU, it's schools.jobs180.com/DHVS. Okay. So moving on to our next topic for today's session. So another okay, so our next presenter is a seasoned recruiter with 6 years of niche and volume hiring experience in BPO, RPO, and financial services. And he is experienced in end-to-end recruitment and handling business and stakeholder management. He has a bachelor's degree in psychology and loves creative writing, traveling, and shifting during his free time. So the Senior Talent Acquisition Officer from IQEQ, Mr. Brian Ray Castaneda. Hi, Sir Brian. Good
Hello, good
afternoon.
afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All
Can we
right.
now test your share screen share?
Okay, cool. Hang on. Okay, so first off, I would like to say thank you to Jobs 180 for inviting me to this event. Good afternoon to all students from Don Honorio Ventura State University. I hope you are having a great time today. So essentially, my name is Brian. You already know who I am. I'm one of the talent acquisition officers of IQEQ. But before I begin with my presentation, I'd like to play a quick video.
Alright, so if you're ready, sir, I leave it with po. I'll be back after your presentation for the Q&A. Good luck, Sir Brian.
All right, thank you. Okay, it seems like the video is not working at the moment, so let me just proceed with my presentation instead. So our topic for today is all about communication skills for workplace success. So our agenda, so we have a lot of topics to cover today, and I'll try to power through these slides as quickly as I can. So one of the topics that we will be covering is what are communication skills, types of communication, top 10 communication skills, how to make your skills stand out, and ways to improve your communication skills. So what are communication skills? So the basic principle of communication is essentially about getting your thoughts across to someone else in a way that they can understand. So ever since the day we were born, we have been communicating already. So babies would cry to get the attention of their parents, but as we grow older, we tend to develop a more sophisticated way of letting people know what we want or communicating in a way that makes people want to listen to us or what we have to say. So, as they say, communication is not a one-way street. So, it involves two people, of course. So, it's not just about getting your thoughts across, but it's also about listening to the other person as well. Effective communication is all about ensuring that everyone is on the same page. So communication skills, on the other hand, are the abilities we use when giving and receiving different kinds of information. So it involves listening, speaking, observing, and empathizing. Now, personally, I do believe that in order for us to be an effective communicator, we don't just need to get our ideas or opinions across in a very effective way, but we also have to take other people's opinion or ideas into consideration. So it's a two-way street, indeed. Okay, next slide. So types of communication skills. So these types are familiar to you already. So we have verbal. So this is the communication communicated through spoken language. And then we have nonverbal. So that includes body language, facial expressions, and tone. And then we have written. So that includes written language, symbols, and numbers. And then visual, we have photography, art, drawings, sketches, charts, and graphs. So top 10 communication skills. So most of us already know how to communicate. In fact, I'm doing it right now. And we're doing it in our everyday lives. But not everyone is actually good in communicating effectively in the workplace or beyond. The ability to communicate effectively with the people around us, especially in the workplace, like our superiors, our colleagues, or even staff, is essential no matter what industry we work in. So it doesn't matter if you work in customer service, in engineering, accounting field, communication skills are essential in all of those areas. So why is it essential? So first off, we are currently working in digital age. So communication does not only mean that we have to speak with someone in person, but it also includes other channels like email or social media or even phone. And these communication skills that I'm about to share with you will definitely help you land a job, get hired, get promoted, and be successful throughout your career. But don't worry. So if you don't have these communication skills, these are something that you can grow over time. So first is active listening. So I always believe that in order for you to become a good communicator, you have to be a good listener as well. So it is important to practice active listening. So active listening, in its purest form, it's all about paying close attention to what other people are saying. And if there are certain words or phrases that are not clear to us, that's when we clarify it by rephrasing their questions for greater understanding. So, how do we practice active listening? So, the basic one is, of course, focusing on your speaker and avoid distractions like using your phone or laptop when communicating with them. You can also improve your active listening skills by paying attention to other people's facial expressions, their body language, and also the tone of their voice, which I'm going to talk about next. So instead of preparing what to say next as well, we have to focus on what the person is saying and how they're speaking. So common mistake that we make is, when we are listening to someone, we listen to respond rather than to understand them. So it should be we listen to understand because that's the only way that we can be able to understand them and effectively tailor our responses based on how they are feeling or how they are responding. So if something is not clear to you, you have to really ask follow-up questions or rephrase what the other person is saying to validate and check if you understood them correctly. So you can say things like, "So what you're saying is blah blah blah." So that's how you could rephrase a question that is not clear to you. So next is nonverbal communication. So your body language, your eye contact, and hand gestures is what I'm doing now. And the tone of your voice color the message that you are trying to convey. So eye contact is very important. You may look into the person's eye to demonstrate that you are really focused on them and on the conversation. So also pay close attention to other people's nonverbal signals while they are talking. So that includes their body language. Like if someone is not really comfortable speaking with you, they would not look you in the eye, or they would cross their arms across their chest. So that's one indicator that they're not really comfortable speaking with you. So that's one of the things that you can consider when communicating with someone. So you also have to check if they're comfortable. Um, Okay, so next is clarity and concision. So sometimes when we think of effective communicators, we think of them as someone who speaks a lot, but that is not always the case. Effective communication is about saying, it's not about saying a lot of words, but conveying your message in as few words as you can. So, how do we improve clarity and concision? As much as you can, do not use filler words and get straight to the point. So if you ramble on or beat around the bush, this will cause your listener to be confused as to what you are trying to tell them. Avoid speaking excessively and do not use words that may confuse the audience. So if you can, stick to simple words because communication at the end of the day is all about, getting understood. So if you use too technical words, then there's a tendency that your listener or the person that you're speaking with might tune out of the conversation. Okay, so fourth is friendliness. So by being friendly doesn't mean that you have to be plastic in the workplace. So it's all about honesty, kindness, or simply by being polite. So these traits that I have mentioned will encourage your coworkers to engage in an honest and open communication with you. So of course, if someone is polite to you, that you would be more open to engage in a conversation with that person, right? Rather than having a conversation with someone who is rude. So how do we improve friendliness or show friendliness? So as simple as using a friendly tone. We can also ask personal questions to someone that we are trying to have a conversation with, or simply by smiling. So small gestures like asking someone how they're doing, smiling as they speak, or offering a praise to the work that they have done well can foster productive relationships with colleagues and managers. Fifth is confidence. So it's a psychology proven fact that if someone is confident, people are more likely to listen to them. So if ideas are presented in a confident way in the workplace, then that's more, uh, the chances of people responding to that idea is very high. Now, how do we display confidence? So first is by making eye contact. Second is sitting up straight with your shoulders open. And also, to improve your confidence, you have to prepare ahead of time so that your thoughts are clear and you're able to answer any questions. So, confident communication is useful not just on the job, but also during the interview process. So, to display confidence, you may avoid using filler words and try not to make your statements sound like questions. So, as an interviewer, I would really check if someone is confident with their answers by checking the tone of their voice. So, if they present their ideas in a way that made them sound like a question, like for example, they would say like, um, I am I am confident. So that gives your recruiters an idea that you're not really sure what you're trying to say. Rather than saying I am confident, um, if you say I am confident, then um, there's a possibility that your idea might be misconstrued. So it's best that to avoid making your statements sound like questions. And also try to avoid sounding aggressive or demeaning. So there's a thick line between being confident and aggressive. So you just have to find the difference between both. Next is empathy. So empathy is it means that you are putting yourself in somebody else's shoes. So it's not only about understanding them, but it's also about sharing what they feel at that moment. So with empathy, we can effectively read and translate other people's emotion and select an appropriate response. So if someone is telling you that they're having a bad day, if we have empathy, then we will know what appropriate response to give them. How do we show empathy? So we can use simple phrases like I understand where you are coming from, or I mean, that statement alone will definitely show that you are paying close attention to what the other person is feeling, and you also respect their opinions. So empathy actually goes hand in hand with active listening. So the one that I have discussed earlier. So active listening can help you tune in to what your conversational partner is thinking and feeling, which will in return make it easier for you to display empathy. Okay. Next is we have open-mindedness. So as a good communicator, you should enter a conversation, or you should enter into any conversation with a flexible and open mind. So open-minded ka ba? That's the question. You have to be open to listening and understanding other people's point of view rather than getting your thoughts across. So communication is not about, it's not always about you. So it's always about taking into consideration other people's perspective, how they're feeling, where they're coming from. And that makes you a good communicator, actually, if you're open minded. So, if you are willing to enter a dialogue where people do not necessarily agree with you, then you will be able to have more honest and productive conversations with them. So, it's really best to see, the situation in a different light sometimes. And we can only get that by considering other people's thoughts or opinions. Eight is respect. So as simple as paying attention to to the listener or to the person that you're speaking with, using their first name and not being distracted. So, and also respect means allowing other people to speak without interrupting them. So just give them time to finish their conversation before you dish out whatever thoughts you have in mind. And then nine is feedback. So being able to construct and provide feedback appropriately is an important communication skill. Strong communicators are able to achieve both. So they're able to receive constructive feedback, and they're also able to provide them to others. So why is it important? So, well, feedback is there to essentially improve your current work. So it will, help you apply meaningful improvements to your work and also develop your career in the long run if you take it constructively. So what are ways that we can improve this? So first is we take notes of the feedback that are being provided to us. So when you come across a well-explained feedback, so if you think that it's something that really makes sense and you think that it's going to help you better your work, then you have to take some time to really observe it and analyze why the feedback was good. And from there, you will be able to understand why it resonated with you. And, you can use that feedback to better your work in the future. So number 10 is picking the right medium. So we have a lot of mediums in terms of communication, right? So we have in person, we have via call, we have via email, and we also have social media. Now, an important skill to know in the workplace is what media should we use depending on the situation that we are in. So, so we have to consider we have to consider our audience in terms of the way we communicate with them. So, for example, if there are serious conversations like resignation or maybe changes in salary or maybe layoffs, so these topics are best discussed in person with your manager. If you are communicating as well with a potential employer, it's best that you send them a formal email first or call them on the phone, whatever floats your boat. You should also think of the person whom you wish to speak. So if you want to speak with your boss, now these are people who are normally busy, right? So you might want to convey your message via email instead of meeting or in person, since they are very busy person or people. Okay. Next. So how to make your skills stand out? So first is by matching your skills to the job. So analyze the job listing. Pay close attention to the hard and soft skills that are highlighted in the job description. Normally, when you search for jobs online, everything is included there. The hard skill, like these are your technical skills. Soft skills are like your communication skills, your personality, and all that. And then you can personalize your resume and cover letter to match their requirements. So, for example, if I'm a psychology graduate and I want to apply as a recruiter, so what I would do is if I don't have any experience yet, what I would do is I would highlight my experience in terms of internship and also pitch in my soft skills, like maybe communication, like I'm good with communicating with other people or maybe dealing with different types of personalities. So just, really pay close attention to the details specified in the job ad and then create your resume or cover letter from there based off of the requirements. And then second is familiarizing yourself with other in-demand skills. So soft skills like communication skills may not be as heavy in terms of requirement in the job description, but the hiring managers highly desire them. So I have interviewed other people who actually are qualified for the role, like technically wise or technically speaking, they have the experience and the qualifications. But during the interview with the hiring manager, they didn't sound confident or they were not able to relay their thoughts across in a very effective manner. So that was the reason why they were rejected. So that's why I'm saying like communication skills is really important because if you're able to communicate effectively, share what you've done previously, it will definitely land you a job. And then third is using job interviews to your advantage. So job interviews are definitely a platform for you to showcase your communication skills. So you have to make use of that. And then what can you do to prepare for your job interview? So first is you can practice beforehand. So you can ask a friend to maybe ask you mock questions about the vacancy. That way you will be able to warm up and prepare yourself in terms of how to answer those questions that might possibly be asked during the interview. And then don't be afraid to pause when answering interview questions. Sometimes we pressure ourselves to answer interview questions right away, but it's really important that we take or we give ourselves time to process the question and think of an answer rather than answer right away. So that's a common mistake that I normally encounter. Like when I interview someone, they would pressure themselves to answer my question right away without even understanding what I was trying to get from them or ask them. So if something is not clear to you, you need to clarify the question instead of answering it based on what you understood. And then fourth is not stopping when you get the job. So, for freshers, once you get the job, your communication skills should not stop there. You should seek ways to improve them. And there are a lot of ways that you can actually showcase those skills and improve them possibly. So you can make use of company meetings or even talking with a client. So that will give you an opportunity to really hasten or improve your communication skills and show to your upper management as well that you can communicate well. So ways to improve your communication skills. First is you observe good communicators around you. So we all have that someone that we look up to in terms of how good they are with communicating. So it could be our teachers, it could be our colleagues, family, friends, classmates. So what you can do is observe them, make them your standard or benchmark in terms of how they deliver or construct their sentences. So that's one thing you can do. Second is ask a close friend or colleague for constructive feedback. So if we circle back to one of the communication skills that I have discussed earlier, so you have to be open-minded in terms of accepting feedback, in terms of how effective you are or how good you are with communicating. Feedback will definitely help you understand your areas for improvement in terms of communication, and this will help you identify what skills you should focus on. Okay, third is practice improving communication habits. So you can practice your communication habits by being more responsive to communications. If someone sent you an email, try to respond to them and then practice from there. Reminding yourself as well to give eye contact for in-person conversations. You can also practice by giving positive feedback and asking questions in conversations. Another thing that you can do, and this is what I do sometimes or most of the time, so I talk to myself when I'm alone. So I ask myself questions verbally. It's not just in my head, but I speak them out. So I ask myself questions and then I try to answer them on my own as if I were on a TV show. So that's one thing that you can do. And then fourth is attend communication skills workshops or classes. So there are a lot of communication skills workshops online, so it's about time that we leverage on them. And then fourth is seek opportunities to communicate. So you can seek out opportunities both on and off the job that require you to use your communication skills. So this may help you keep good skills fresh while also allowing you the opportunity to practice new skills. So I think that's about it. Do you guys have any questions?
All right, so thank you so much, Sir Brian. So, to our audience, Lyceum and Davsu, we are now opening the floor for questions. So, again, um, if you have questions regarding the topic, ayan, so now this is the time to ask. So please don't be shy. And this is for your own good. Ayan, para, diba, before graduation, you are kind of equipped na, diba, with this kind of informations. Ayan, so sayang naman, sayang yung opportunity to ask questions. Okay. So again, to Davsu and Lyceum Northwestern, we are now opening the floor for questions. So if you have questions po for Sir Brian, kindly post it on the comment section. Now, while waiting for questions from the audience, I'll be asking questions of you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so for my first question, so in this generation, in this era, we are actually in the information age na po, or what we call computer or digital age. So the question is, do you think the technology is already affecting our way of communicating, or is technology enhancing or hindering interpersonal communication?
It's actually a balance of both, I would say. So there are advantages to communicating via email or digitally over personal communication. So in terms of interpersonal skills, you can still showcase that when you are sending emails or
Mm-hmm.
communicating with someone via social media. So you are still able to relay your thoughts across and develop close relationships with them, even if you're not talking to them personally. So I would say that it's a balance of both. And like I said earlier, you have to pick the right medium in terms of knowing what channel to use in terms of communicating with other people. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So follow-up question is maybe know which method or what method do you prefer more in communicating, or do you still want it ano po personally communicating with others? Yeah.
Personally, I would love to communicate with someone in person because you can see their body language, you can see their face or how they move, and also the tone of their voice. You can hear it. So that's my preferred mode of communication. But I'm okay with sending emails sometimes because there are certain occasions that don't really require your personal or physical presence to relay your message or your thoughts or your ideas rather.
Sure. Tsaka it's kind of quite scary. Parang minsan may thought na yung kausap mo ba online, siya ba talaga yun? 'Di ba?
Oh
May
yeah,
ganun
yeah.
may ganung notion, sir, eh. So anyway, thank you for answering that question, sir. So another question is, bakit nagbabate? So do you think a lack of communication skills affect our lives personally and professionally?
Definitely. So if we are unable to express ourselves or get our feelings or thoughts across in a very effective manner, or not even effective, but in a basic manner, if we're not able to do that, then we're not able to go on with our lives every day because social relationships with other people is really essential, and we can only, or not, I mean, not only, we can achieve that by
Mhm.
communicating with them.
All right, thank you, sir. So another question is, how do you think how effective communication skills can empower you to be a better future employee?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
How effective communication skills can empower you or us to be a better employee?
It can definitely empower you in a way that you know yourself or your place in the workplace. So if you're able to know your worth, and if one of that is, if one of that includes your communication skills, then you're able to cement yourself in the workplace and empower you as an employee. There are times when I have had colleagues who are afraid to, really express themselves. So that kind of speaks a lot about, what position they are in. Like they're not really empowered in terms of sharing their ideas. But if you have effective communication skills, if you're able to get your thoughts across, if you're able to actively listening and provide feedback, then that will definitely cement or put your place in the workplace.
All right, thank you, sir. So another question is, most of the Filipinos, or hindi lang Filipinos, actually marami ng tao ngayon, di ba? Lahat may gadgets, lahat nasa social media.
Yep.
Do you think social media can improve literacy and communication skills?
Definitely, I would say yes. I'm a pro social media user. So there are a lot of workshops available
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook or on Instagram. You can look them up, they're for free. And you can make use of them actually to improve your skills.
If you don't mind me asking, sir, what's your favorite social media platform? Eh, saka baka saan tumatambay si Sir Brian?
I'm normally on Facebook and
Okay.
also Instagram.
Do you do ano sir, TikToks?
No, I don't do that. I actually consider myself as, more of a writer than a speaker. So there are times when
Mm,
I don't really communicate effectively. I
mm.
prefer written communication rather than verbal sometimes.
Oh, okay. Get it. Okay, thank you so much, sir. So another question po is, nagbaback yung akin. So another question is, was there a time po? So personal experience, sir,
Yes.
if you don't mind me asking. So, was there a time that you have a problem, that come out of poor communication with someone, and how
Um,
did you face? How did you address the problem?
Um, there was a time when I was still new to the workforce, that I don't really know how to communicate properly with other people, especially
Mm-hmm.
via email. Because there are times when I am a very emotional person. So if there are specific problems that affect my work, then I would definitely call out that person. And so I would say things that might sound offensive to them, but for me, it's not really the case. That's why over the years, I learned to develop empathy. I learned to really take into consideration where they're coming from. Because for me, like, I might be able to do the job, but if others could not, then what else could I do? But,
Mm-mm.
be empathetic over their situation. So right now, I would say that when someone tries to push my buttons via email. Like if they send me emails that would trigger a specific emotion in me, I would just pause and then I would think of a feedback or a response that doesn't sound offensive to them.
Mm. All right, thank you, sir. So, one last question. So to Daxu and to Lyceum. So if you have questions, so please don't be shy.
Yes. This
Yes,
will help your communication skills by asking questions, actually.
yeah, correct. Ayan. So, yeah. So thank you, sir. So one last question, sir. So before we end the topic,
Yep.
so we all know there are still communication barriers po, no? So especially ethnicity or kung saan ka
Yeah.
man galing, di ba po? So, how communication barriers affect relationships at works po in today's era?
Well, if you are a close minded individual, you would always put those attributes first, like your background, your religion. But, this is why I said earlier that open mindedness is a communication skill. So it's a must have because you will not be able to effectively work well with other people if you don't have an open mind in the first place. If you always value what you think or where you're coming from, your
Mm,
religion, then that would mean that your working relationship with others will be greatly affected. So if it's work, just focus on work. Disregard where the person is coming from.
mm,
Because at the end of the day, we're all employees of the company, and we do things for to help grow the business. So yeah.
all right. Thank you so much, Sir Brian. So I think no more questions. No questions from the audience and no more questions from me. And so thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your expertise. So we wish to have you on our next set of webinars, Sir Brian.
Of
Thank you
course,
so
just
much
send me an
po.
invite.
Thanks, sir.
Bye.
Bye, sir. So again, guys, if you're interested to know more about IQEQ, or if you'd like to apply online using your resume link, you may submit it to www.jobs180.com/IQEQ. Again, so if you have questions po for our speaker, so please kindly post your questions in the comment section. Po kayo may magtanong. This is your chance to ask. Okay? So moving on to our last topic for today's session. So our last presenter is a licensed educator specialized in English. Moreover, he started his pedagogical career in ESL companies and eventually handled various roles like team leader, language communications trainer, QA, and academic expert. So he has been trudging this path for 6 years now and have continued his service with VXI as a language trainer. So ultimately, he has been working with a sophisticated group of people geared towards perennially aiding the applicants to land their jobs. So the talent acquisition trainer from VXI, Mr. Rowie Sarillana. Hi, Sir Rowie. Good afternoon po.
Hi guys, good afternoon.
Nice or
Don
good afternoon.
Honorio.
Good to have you back, sir, in our webinar. So,
Yes.
if you're ready, sir, and leave it to it, I'll be back for the Q&A after your presentation. Good luck, sir, Rowie.
Sure. Thank you, Ms. Joyce. All right, so good afternoon, Don Honorio, Ventura State University, and Lyceum Northwestern University. I hope you guys already have something or have eaten something for lunch because it's going to be a long topic, and hopefully, you guys can bring your pen and paper out so you can take notes some of the points that I'll be discussing, which is very important. Top skills employers look for when hiring. It's a hot potato for most of you guys. I can see in the comment section that some of you are graduating students. Even if you're not graduating yet, learning this ahead of time, it's going to be an edge for you guys when you start applying in the future. Let's get started. Let's first define skill. Skill, guys, is the ability to use one's knowledge effectively and readily in execution or performance. Apart from that, proficiency or coordination, especially in the execution of learned physical tasks. It also has something to do with the learned power of doing something competently. And it's also a developed aptitude or ability. When we say aptitude, guys, you're good at it, you have a knack for something. When we say knack for something, you don't even break a sweat when you do something. Right? Now, skill, guys, and talent. So it's a difference between, it's like nature versus nurture. Those who are, I can see there are teachers here by profession, B.Ed and BS Ed, because also I'm a BS Ed graduate. Anyways, skill and talent. Skill, guys, is something that you can learn and hone or improve through time, whereas talent is something that you already have innate, or innate is inborn. You already have it by birth. Okay, that's what you're good at. Some people tend to have a hard time singing, some people tend to have a hard time dancing. It's because it's not their talent. Some people have you, if you have noticed, guys, through time they have become better in singing or dancing. It's because they have practiced a lot. That's a skill, right? Now, what is the importance of having the right skill? First and foremost, employers see more positively towards you as an employee. Guys, most of you say that my best skill is eating, my best skill is sleeping. Again, guys, if you have or should you have a skill, make sure that it will be advantageous for you once you start working in the future. All right. For example, computer skill. Right. Most of you, I believe, I'll be cutting my hands off if none of you have computers at home, right? Most of you, if you don't have computers at home, you know exactly how to use it. You're computer literate, right? Apart from that, guys, communication skill is very important, especially at work. Communication skill, don't get me wrong, it's not only about how good you are at speaking English, right? Because as we all know, English is not the only language that require communication skill, right? Oh, it's also verbal and nonverbal, as what Sir Brian or the previous speaker has discussed previously, right? Moving on. Employers prefer applicants who are willing to learn new skills. Hence, always mention the same in resume and be keen or be a keen learner. Guys, my tip is that you should know how to empty your cup, if you guys know what I mean. Emptying your cup means being humble, being able to be open, right, for new things to be learned. Right now, guys, when you are a student, you are learning because there are three stages of learning, right? If you don't mind me adding it, learning is the first stage, second is unlearning, and the third stage is relearning. What's the difference? Learning, as a student, you learn new things. You're like a sponge that absorbs everything. Not everything, but some, right? Now, relearn, if you already have experience at a certain field and you started working in a different company, that previous learning will keep on hindering you, if not helping you at work. That's now how I do it in my previous job. This is how I do it. But then again, different companies have different approaches, if you know what I'm saying, right? That's why you need to unlearn, to learn new things. That's when you set aside your full cup, right? Let's just say, guys, you have learned a lot, you have experienced a lot, you have a full cup. Okay, having a full cup is not bad, but then again, if you are to learn something, you must learn how to empty that. Now, you don't really have to empty it though. You just need to have a new cup. All right. So now that you have a full cup, set that aside. All right. Get a new cup for you to fill it up with new learning. That's how you relearn, unlearn. Right. Now, at the end of the learning process, guys, or the learning stage or the learning experience, combine both cups. Now you have a bigger cup, right? That's how you relearn. All right. That's the last stage of learning. And it keeps on going, guys. Right? That's what we call lifelong learning. Learning doesn't stop after school. That's when it starts. All right. Next, you'll be more confident during interviews. Guys, during interviews, sounding confident versus sounding condescending, they're way too different. Condescending, it means you sound like I'm better than you, right? Know what I'm saying? Mayabang in vernacular, right? Now, being confident is different because you can make eye contact, straightforward answers without sounding to brag about it. Okay? Next, you will have strong resumes, cover letters, and job applications. But then again, these are just the ingredients for you to be invited for an interview, right? Having a good resume does not really mean that you already are hired for a certain position. They will still be testing the waters, right? They will still be requiring you to attend an interview with them, whether digital or physical interviews. Okay. Next is you will have a strong sorry it is one of the ways to expand and identify your skills. Again, guys, never get contented on what you just know, but also focus on the things that you might know, right? KWL, what I know, what I want to know, or what I learned, what I want to learn, and compare them at the end of it, right? Next, um, students gain skills from on the job training or learning, which may include service learning opportunities and internships. Guys, um, you already have, let's just say, for graduating students, you already are a step closer to your graduation, right? Before you have reached that point, you have undergone a lot of trainings, a lot of learnings, right? And the most challenging part of that venture is the internship because that's when you will apply what you have learned, especially for those who are still below the fourth year of studying. Okay. Now, as much as you can, guys, absorb everything, learn everything. Not everything, though, but at least be familiar. Not just memorize, but at least familiar. Okay? Familiarize them. Okay? Moving on to the next part. What are the top skills? First top skill, guys, is critical thinking and problem solving, right? It's badly needed. Why? Because, guys, you will be facing challenges in the future. The company hired you or will hire you because they know that they might or you might help them with their problem, right? Now, the companies are hiring in general because they need people to help them, okay? Not add insult to injury, if you know what I'm saying, okay? Now, problem solving and critical thinking, it's one of the 21st century skills, right? One thing to improve that part is to practice playing puzzle games, right? If it bores you, most of you believe playing Mobile Legends, um, Call of Duty, mobile are just a waste of time, but definitely not, guys. If it is too much and it already affects your daily life, then it becomes an issue. It becomes an addiction, right? Everything in moderation, guys. Okay. Now, how will it help you then? Playing Mobile Legends or COD mobile, guys, means that you will have to devise strategies to overcome the challenge, which is your opponent or your enemies in game, right? You would have to adjust yourself. If marksman is the only hero that you can use, you must learn how to use different hero classes as well. You might need to learn how to use a fighter, how to use a tank, because there will always be a time, guys, that some players do not adjust. They will auto lock. How do I know? I also have that game on my phone. It's just that I just want you guys to also learn the things that I've learned from the game, and that's how you will improve critical thinking. um, it improves your critical thinking, guys, because from time to time you're facing different enemies or different opponents. Therefore, you'll be adjusting your strategy. Okay. The same thing that you'll be doing at work. You'll be facing different types of problems, different levels of problems that you will have to adjust yourself in order to solve them. Okay. Moving on to number two, teamwork and collaboration in the workplace. Even if you are an introvert, an extrovert, or an ambivert, guys, you still need your colleagues to progress at work. You still need other people to accomplish work, right? Now, that's why during interviews, they'll be asking you questions like, how are you with working in a team? Or how are you working in a team? Or do you see yourself working as part of a team? Because, guys, it's a mandatory requirement that you will have to learn to work with people. Okay. Again, you'll be working in a company. You're in one body, but you're in different parts. Okay. Number three, professionalism and strong work ethic. Professionalism, you know exactly what to say and how to say them in different circumstances. Strong work ethic, that has something to do with your attitude and behavior at work. Attitude, guys, is mental, behavior is physical. Whatever your attitude mentally is, it will manifest in your behavior. Okay, moving on. Oral and written communication skills. It's really important, guys, to have these skills because one way or another, you will need them at work, right? Now, most of you believe that I'm not good at English. You don't have to be good at English just to communicate, right? As at least you know a thing or two about English and you know exactly when and how to use them, that's more than enough, right? It's not rocket science that you will have to master grammar. You will have to master all the words in English, highfalutin, complex words. No, right? Take it from an English major, guys. You don't need that much, at least. Okay, moving on. Leadership skills, guys. Most of you would say that I am better of a follower than a leader. Okay, one way or another, guys, there will be times at work that you will have to step up, level up, right? Now, leadership skill, you should know the difference between being a boss and being a leader, right? Most of you believe that when a person is already a leader, he's already or she's already a boss. But no, there's a difference, right? A boss gives commands, a leader initiates initiative, positive behavior. A leader generally inspires, okay? A boss commands, a leader inspires or motivates his or her teammate within the team. Okay. Next. By the way, more on leadership skills, guys. Even at school right now, right? Volunteerism, it's also part of a leadership skill, right? For example, your teacher asks you who wants to volunteer to report for next week's lesson, right? It's part of having a leadership skill. As early as now, try to have volunteerism or initiative in you guys because if you don't start it now, when? And if you won't do it, who will do it for you? Your moms will not be there in the office, guys. Next, innovation. When we say innovation, guys, it's your ability to adapt to change, to introduce new concepts, new strategies. Because, guys, the only thing that remains unchanged is change itself. That's why you need to innovate, right? Moving on. Leadership and innovation, how to develop them. So, when it comes to this part, guys, leadership is related or directly related to innovation because leadership, you step up, innovation, you introduce new things, right? And part of being a leader is you need to adapt to change. First is develop a clear vision. What's your plan? Where do you see yourself in a week or two from now, right? Next, do not fear change and novelty. Guys, fear is something that will limit you from expanding your wings and becoming better. All right. It will just be a wall that keeps on standing along your way or against you guys. In between success and failure, that's the borderline, the wall. right? The fear. Okay? The chances of you succeeding at something if you have this is slim to none, right? That's why if you have fear at something, guys, channel that into motivation. Because, guys, fear is not bad because without fear, there is no bravery. Know what I'm saying? Sometimes, guys, doesn't matter how scared or how fearful you are at something, if you need to protect someone or something, you need to step up and be brave. Face it, right? Next, be a good communicator. Again, it does not just only include English communication when it comes to being a good communicator. It also has something to do with your diction. When I say diction, guys, choice of words, right? The right words to say at the right time and at the right place, right? You cannot mix colloquial conversation and corporate conversation. When I say colloquial, that's what we use every day. When you talk to your friends, that's colloquial level. When you talk to your professors in school or universities, that's corporate level. Guys, if you start working in the future, which you would, that's a corporate level, right? Especially when you attend meetings, you must know exactly, even if it is a negative information, you must be able to use positive scripting for you to sound professional and easily accepted by the boss, okay, or by the leaders in the company. Next, be receptive to feedback. Again, guys, one way or another, whatever you do, good or bad, people will always have something to say, right? Feedback is always there, even before you leave home, right? Whatever you're wearing, you'll be consulting your family or your friends. Hey, how do I look? Right? And then they'll be telling you, oh, the shoes don't pair perfectly with your shirt. But the main issue is your face, not the shirt. No, just kidding, guys. Okay. Now, feedback, guys, good or bad, we adjust ourselves to it because we know at the end of the day, the goal of feedback is for us to be better. Okay. Moving on. Prioritize the value of teamwork. Again, teamwork makes a dream work, right? Even in schools, guys, you prioritize teamwork, especially if there's a group activity or in exams. Sorry. All right. Sometimes in group activity, guys, right? Or in team buildings at school or you guys in the future at work, right? You would need to work as part of the team, as what John Donne has mentioned. No man is an island. Every man is a part of a continent, a part of a whole. Okay. Moving on. Ways to discover your skills and strength. Sometimes, guys, it's easier to know other people than knowing who you are, right? Now, these are the shortcuts or the easy avenues you can use to discover what you might be good at. Okay. First is explore strengths and skills employers want. With that, guys, you need to read an actual job description or an ad on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever social media that is. You may be able to find the strength and ask yourself, do I have this? Am I good at this? If not, you must know what to do. Be better at that. You must be good at that. How? Expose yourself into something that will help you be better at that. Okay? Next, ask others what they think you are good at. Sometimes, guys, we need fresh eyes. Okay? Because there are certain things that we cannot see while we do it, while there are other people there that can see things objectively and clearly without biases, right? You need to ask your friends, right? Hey, what do you think I'm good at? Sometimes your friends will tell you, oh, you're good at eating, you're good at sleeping, you're good at slacking off, right? But then again, be serious. Tell your friends about it, okay? And also take turns. How about me? What am I good at? All right? And you only know that, guys. All right? Moving on to number three. Ask yourself what your interests are and what you like to do. It has something to do with your passion, guys. What are you good at? What's your preference? Because, guys, at the end of the day, doing something that you are not very passionate about will affect the process of you being successful at something. But sometimes, guys, to be honest, at work, even if you hate doing something, you must learn how to embrace it because that's what the job requires you to do, right? Sometimes you need to wear masks, right, for you to be better and productive at work. That's reality, guys. It's not about who you are, it's not about what you like, It's what about what you can bring to the table, how you can help the company in general. Okay. Next, think of a typical day and all the activities you do within the day. This has something to do with reflection, guys, right? What did I do today? Right? Was it successful? Did I enjoy it? Right? Was it that good? And then rate it from 1 to 10, right? If you think it's less than 5, work on that. If you think it's 10, maintain the best practice and keep on changing or evolving, all right? Next, think about what motivates you. Most people would say money. Yes, that's a valid motivation because without money, guys, you cannot survive paying the bills. Guys, you'll be graduating soon, and then adulthood will be slapping you in the face. Hey, welcome to adulthood. Bills come into picture. You will understand what I mean, guys. Some of you are working students. I know you already know the value of money, right? For those who are not well aware of the value of money, I hope you guys would know exactly how to spend it and how to properly earn it. All right. Next, how do we hone our skills? In general, these are the things that you can do, guys, to be better. Face your fears. Again, if you are afraid of something, expose yourself more to that field. Get yourself used to it. Get yourself accustomed to that. So, whenever you are stimulated by the same fear next time, you would tell yourself, I've already have tried this. I already have overcame this or overcome this. So this will no longer be a problem. Therefore, it will not affect you in the future. Two, read, right? Reading maketh a full man. Conference a ready man, writing an exact man. That's what Francis Bacon has mentioned. For those English majors like me, you know exactly what I mean, right? Reading, guys, never underestimate that. Most of you prefer watching movies, pictures, because you don't have to exhaust your brain cells at understanding, interpreting what the letters mean, right? But at the end of the day, guys, when you start reading the contract, there are no pictures. When you start reading an NTE or notice to explain because you have done something wrong and you believe that you still are right, right? You know what I'm saying, guys? Even in the exams, right? There are no pictures. You would require or you are required to have reading skills, in short, reading comprehension. All right, guys, it's not just about reading it blindly, also try to understand, comprehend what you have read. Okay, and then take note of the things that you might need in the future because one way or another, guys, reading would lead you elsewhere. All right, hopefully that's not in the same position as you are right now. Next, learn something new. Guys, explore new things. Sometimes exploring, guys, would lead you to discovering, oh, I'm good at this unexpectedly, right? Next, be open to feedback, be receptive to feedback. Guys, whatever the feedback is, positive or negative, take it as a constructive criticism. Thank you for letting me know what I need to do to be better in the future. But then again, don't take it to impress other people, to please other people. Guys, don't be a people pleaser. If you know what I'm saying. All right, you don't have to make them or to please them for them to be happy. At the end of the day, it's you who will decide whether you love what you're doing, in turn pleasing your bosses and what you do, or stop and find a new bread and butter. What do we mean by bread and butter? That's your job, guys. Okay, or your job in the future at least. Next, network. When we say network, guys, it's not just about um, open-minded ka ba? Networking na kagad, no? No. Network, guys, has something to do with the number of people that you know that you can just reach in one tap of a button and can help you find something. But then again, it's not just you asking help from them, it's also you helping them in return. Apart from that, guys, apart from a number of people that you know, it's also what you know. That's your skill and talent. That's your network. Okay. Next is keep a journal. Right. Most of you believe that keeping a journal is just for girls, but no. Right. Remember Jose Rizal, guys. Right. He has written a lot of journals in his time. That's why we know exactly what happened during his time. It's because of the written materials that require you to read, right? And lastly, find a mentor. Okay. Again, you cannot learn all things on your own, guys. You need other people. And if you find a mentor, make sure that this mentor will teach you positive things, not negative things. All right. Guys, life is too short. Never waste it on someone or something that you know you don't have time to improve on. Okay. Find someone that will lead you elsewhere. That'll be in the office, right? That's it. Next, how to practice your strengths and skills for a job search. Guys, practicing your skills and strengths, it's going to be for your CV, right? CV, which you can just type virtually, right? You can use resume link, guys. As what Sir Kim has mentioned, you can have uh, an intro. You can create a video of yourself, right? Doing something. Hopefully, that something is not bad, guys. Hopefully, that shows your skills, that exhibits your skills, right? Answering possible interview questions so that interviewers will no longer be requiring you to go on site, or at least if they require you to go on site, that's when you sign the contract. Okay? In a job application form. This actually, guys, is gradually not becoming a trend because you can just apply on the internet, on different websites, or even on jobs180.com. All right. Now, let me just leave you guys a food for thought. The capacity to learn is a gift. The ability to learn is a skill. The willingness to learn is a choice. Not everyone is born with a photographic memory, if you know what I'm saying. That's a gift, right? But then again, talent and skill. Ability to learn is a skill because you are already exposing yourself to doing something that you hate before, but then again you found something in that that interested you. You found it intriguing, therefore, I want to do this more often. Okay. And of course, the willingness to learn, guys, has something to do with your receptiveness, how open you are to feedback, how open you are to new things. Again, learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's a choice. Okay. And by the way, guys, should you ever stumble upon the chance of applying in VXI, you can go to or visit www.jobs180.com/VXI and create. Before applying there, you can create resume link, which is much easier and much more economical, if I'm being honest. Next, you can also visit these sites, guys. If you think that you're closer at these sites, VXI Makati, Panorama, Quezon City, we have two sites there. Bridgetown, Moa, and Davao, we have five, which I'm in right now. Okay. By the way, that pretty much wraps it up. Go ahead with the questions, guys. I'm open for it. I'm all ears.
All right, so thank you so much, Sir Rowie. Now we are again opening the floor for questions. So to Dav, Sue, and Lyceum, last speaker na natin sa Sir Rowie for today. So if you have questions, ayan, nahihiya pa rin kayo, please. This is your time to ask. Ayan, sayang naman po. Okay? So, okay, Sir Rowie? All right,
Yep.
ayan. So,
So, yeah.
ito na wala. Okay, so while waiting for questions, Sir Rowie, I'll be asking questions na po muna. So, first question is for those people and watching who have plans on joining VXI po. So what do you think are the skills or which skills the most important one should possess to join VXI?
All right. First and foremost, guys, because at the end of the day, you'll be communicating with your customers, right? It's a mandatory requirement that you must be not just good, but at least you can use the language effectively. All right. Now, apart from communication skills, guys, you must also have critical thinking skill, right? Because at the end of the day, they'll be asking you questions like, how would you introduce red to a blind person? Right? If you think about it literally, it's very impossible. But if you think out of the box, and view it on a different point of view or a different perspective, you'll be able to find the gap, and then from the gap, formulate your answer.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So apologies on that. May 3 second delay on my end. Okay. So another question. So yan. So I'm actually checking the comment section if may mag-ask. Ayan. So wala pa. So another question, sir, is which skill do you think is most likely to contribute to success in the workplace?
I'm sorry. Can you say that again
Yes,
one more
sir.
time?
Which skill is most likely to contribute to success in the workplace?
Okay. Working in the workplace, guys, requires teamwork, right? As we
Mhm.
say, and part of it is communication. Okay. Now, having or knowing when to say the right things and at the right time would help you foster better relationship. All right. Working in a group, guys, might be tough because we have different mind settings, right? And some people might take that negatively because they have their own point of view. That's subjectiveness, right? Now, to be more successful, guys, you need to be more objective with your point of view. Okay, focus on your goal. Focus on your vision. What do you really want to be 5 years from now? All right. What's your life goal? All right. Make that happen. Don't just say that I want this to happen. Make it happen. Do something. Okay.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Rowie. So another question is, what do you think are the common skills gaps that you encounter in most of your interviews? If you're doing interviews,
Uh,
sir. Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've done a number of interviews before. Is it in the perspective of the applicant or mine?
Yes, sir. Yours po.
Ah, mine. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, before entering the BPO, that's a technical skill, guys. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How would you help the customer in a dealing with this problem? How would you, for example, how would you fix a phone that you cannot see? Apparently, it's difficult, right? Because one way of fixing the phone is you need to see it physically, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, as time went by, guys, you would learn exactly how to do things because you would have to do it on your own. That's learning by doing by John Dewey, right? And the skill gap, guys, apparently you will not be perfect. You will not have everything. And it takes time for you to learn things, right? And learning things require you to learn it from the best. That's the mentor that I'm talking about. Okay?
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, actually, I will be asking the same question I asked
Mm.
yesterday po, no? So, syempre, a different perspective from
Yeah,
VXI to
sure.
different companies. So, do you think there is a skills shortage in the Philippines?
Skill shortage in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I believe Filipinos are skilled by nature. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is that they fail to reevaluate, reflect on themselves. So that is self awareness, right? And if I'm being honest, self awareness is also a skill, guys, right? That's intrapersonal intelligence. Knowing
Mm-hmm.
yourself better than is harder than knowing your friends because you can see them physically. The problem is, whatever you do, guys, sometimes you have no idea that you're good at this, you're good at that, right? That's self evaluation, intra personal skill. Because interpersonal skill, that's you including other people, right? That's part of the multiple intelligences by um, the Harvard University professor. Okay.
Alright, thanks. Tsaka mga estudyante, kahit tayo procrastination, ayan, saka lang nabu-boost yung ano 'pag malapit na yung ano yan. So, thank you
Yes.
sir.
By the way, sorry if I may add, one
Yes,
of
sir.
it is also innovation, right? Most
Mhm,
Filipinos, kasi we're contented on what we already know, what we have, right? Sometimes we do not change things because it's a new thing to learn, right? And it's taxing for most people. Ano ba yan? Nakakapagod.
mhm.
Ayoko na. Right? Dito na ako nasanay. Nakagawian na kasi. Kaya mahirap ng baguhin. But then again, um, being able to adjust yourself, that's flexibility. Most Filipinos tend to find it difficult to adjust at things. Instead of them adjusting, they complain, right? Nauna yung bibig bago yung isip, right? They talk a lot instead of listen first and then absorb it. That's why we're given two mouth. Oh, sorry, 2 ears and a mouth, so we can listen as much or twice as much as we can speak.
Napaisip ako dun sa second mouth, sir. Buti na lang na-reach ko si Sir Rowie yung pangalawang mouth. Ayan. So, next question, sir, is, ayan. So, in VXI, would you offer trainings, ayan, to improve a certain skill?
Yeah, of course. When an applicant fails in VXI, we have an area for them to be honed and developed at, and that's the training that we offer for the applicants.
Mhm.
It's free of charge. Most companies are charging people for them to be trained at something, right? But VXI guys, that's our passion for people. We tend to do or go the extra mile by helping the applicants improve in their communication skill, and that's a 5 day training or 4 day training because I was also a trainer on that field. We help the applicants improve their comm skills by giving them practical knowledge, basic knowledge about grammar, pronunciation, accent, and vocabulary. So the next time that they'll be facing the interviewer, they're a different animal. They'll be able to give them a better answers, therefore increasing their chances of passing the interview and signing their contracts, taking home the bacon in the end.
Alright, thank you, sir. Oo nga, narinig ko nga na kay VXI, if ever you failed a certain, exam, parang bibigyan ka pa nila ng another chance. Ipa-place ka
Yes.
nila sa parang area kung saan
Mhm.
mag-grow ka, ayan. So, makakapasok ka.
Yes.
Ayan, so guys,
VXA will not leave you guys. VXI
mm,
instead will help you whenever you feel down because most companies will just tell you reapply in 30 days
mhm.
without even telling you how to do it. Right? There's no magic pill, guys, that in just one take of a pill you'll be good at English. It takes time, right?
Mhm. Alright, thank you, sir. So, ayan, so baka naman sa mga Davs taga-Davsu, so if you're willing to relocate, I'm not sure if the XI has, ano po, site on near Lyceum, Northwestern, and Davsu, but if you're willing to relocate sa Manila, ayan, so you can apply. Ayan, so you can try applying now at VXI. So,
If I
sir,
may
your
confirm it, sorry, if I may
yes, sir.
confirm, Lyceum Northwestern University is that in also in Pampanga?
Yes, sir.
Ah, okay, it's also in Pampanga, guys. We have a site in Pampanga. That's SM City in Clark,
Sorry,
right?
what Lyceum Northwestern is in
Yes.
Dagupan po, Dagupan.
Ah, the Gupan. It's way too
Yes,
far,
sir.
right? Okay. But
Medyo
anyways,
malayo.
guys, yeah, it's way too
Davao
far.
sir
But then
is in
again,
Pampanga. However, Davao is in Pampanga.
yes, okay. Again, guys, it depends on your willingness. If you really want the job, you will do what's necessary. All right, even if it means you going there just for you to start working. Because at the end of the day, without money, you can't help your family. Without money, you cannot make your plans happen. Don't get me wrong, guys. Money can't buy everything. But then again, if you don't have money, happy ka ba?
And naniniwala ako. I agree with Sir,
Be
Sir
practical.
Rowie. They always say money cannot buy happiness. Pero ang happiness natin ngayon, grabe, money. Ayan. Alright, thank you, sir. Sir, before we end the session, do you have final words po? Since no more questions from the audience and from me, do you have final words for the graduating students of both DAVSU and LNU?
Guys, graduation is not the end of the chapter. It's the start of your new chapter. That you guys will just be thinking about the things you've learned from your professor. Oh, tama pala siya. Dapat pala pinakinggan ko siya. Right? While you're still with them, guys, absorb everything. Learn from them because they talk based on their experience. Doesn't matter how smart you are, even if you're an Einstein level of intelligence, they are still better than us guys because of experience, right? Now, those experiences, guys, they've learned, it took them years before they can finally master it and teach them to you, right? Learn how to empty your cup. And of course, always remember what Winston Churchill has mentioned: success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts.
All right, thank you for the words of wisdom. Thank you so much, Mr. Rowie. So, again, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your expertise po with LNU and DABSU. So, we wish to have you on our next set of webinars, Sir Rowie.
My
Thank you so
pleasure.
much once again, Sir Rowie.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. All right. So again, guys, if you're willing, again, and if you're interested to know more about VXI, you may visit www.thechops180.com/VXI. Okay. So we are now um there, guys, we are done with the topics. Talk proper and successfully tackled all the topics assigned for today's session. So, to our audience, so thank you so much for staying, and we hope you learned and enjoyed the session. And if you still have questions, po, you may send us a message in our Facebook Messenger or facebook.com/shops180.com. And of course, to our speakers, po, IQEQ and VXI, Sir Rowie and Sir Brian, thank you so much. And to officially close our program, may we invite Mr. Kenneth L. Bamba, the Guidance Associate from DHVSU Candaba.
First of all, allow me to express my deep appreciation to our school directors, to our academic coordinator, facilitators, faculty members, as well as our students for successful organizing activity. It is a great honor for me to make these closing remarks at this important program. To all our participants, I would like to say congratulations and best luck to all of you. With deep respect, after all the completing words, continued being involved, continued keeping the spirit and cooperation. I hope that everyone has had a fruitful exchange of views and ideas throughout the program, and I am sure that it will help us in one way. I would also wish to extend my special thanks to our guest speakers who shared their knowledge and expertise with us. Thank you so much. Indeed, this activity would not be successful without your presence. To sum it up, I hope that everyone has learned something from this webinar. Thank you very much to each and every one of you. Let us always be grateful and live fruitfully. A pleasant day to everyone.
All right, so thank you as well, Mr. Kenneth Bamba of Dub Sukandaba. So thank you so much for Trusted Jobs 180. And again, to Parry Events. And of course, we'd like to acknowledge and thank you also, Miss Camille Pira of Lyceum Northwestern University. So thank you so much, ma'am. I think this is the second batch of Lyceum Northwestern Talk. So if you missed the webinar, you may rewatch the video po on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. Ayan. So, thank you so much once again. And of course, to secure your attendance for DAVSU, ayan, the evaluation link is flashed on your screen. It's also available at the comment section. So kindly fill out the form. So this is up until this afternoon. And I think there's another link for survey form for the graduating students of DAVSU. Ayan. Sorry, for LNU. For LNU, Graduating Student Survey. So you have the link there and of course the evaluation. So again, the evaluation po will serve as your attendance for today's session. So kindly fill out the forms. So the links are available po at the comment sections. So we would like to thank each one of you guys for staying all throughout the event, and we hope that the webinar helps you be prepared in the world of work. So please watch out for the next set of webinars we are going to host for. And please check our Facebook page for the topics that will be discussed. And again, you are welcome, guys, to join in on those sessions too. And again, as I've said earlier, if you missed this webinar, you may rewatch it on our Facebook and YouTube channel. So the program has finally concluded. This is your host, Joyce Katakutan. We will see you soon and have a great afternoon. Ingat, everyone. Thank you so much po.